Today on 60 and a half minutes. When thinking of Great Britain, you may think of bad teeth, tea sipping, and properness. But we here on 60 and a half minutes are going to show you the other side of Great Britain. The mods, the rockers, and the genocide? I don't really know about it. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. I don't know, because I haven't. But anyway, here to narrate 60 and a half minutes is my main man, Morgan Freeman.
For those of you who haven't heard the simple pleasantry of my voice, prepare to be sent on a ride through the tunnel of splendor and awe. My name is Morgan Freeman, and I am also God. I have put down my schmitting for the time being to teach the public about the unknown genocide between two cultures of Great Britain, the mods and the rockers. Somewhere around the 1960s and 1970s, two rival groups formed, the mods and the rockers. These two groups were very similar to the American greasers and the socias. They constantly disputed and hated each other. This rivalry was not only formed around hate, it was fueled by the media. At the beginning of their formation, only a few brawls broke out, and it seemed that after these groups would have dispersed. But the media loved them. Not in a homosexual way to clear up any doubt, but more of a, we're going to make a lot of money with this way. From here, the media made some exaggerated reports about mods drowning and being linked to the rockers. Other similar reports soon followed. After what seemed like the violence between the two groups was coming to a close, it was rebuilt by the media. Outbreaks of violence broke out, and the two groups hated each other more than ever. Somewhere inside your tiny, underdeveloped brains, you may be thinking, Morgan Freeman, what is the difference between these two groups? Well, I don't know. Just kidding. I'm Morgan Freeman. I know all. Well, the names of the groups should explain who they are. The name mod is short for modern. The mods fancy themselves to be well-dressed and educated. They believe that they were better than the rockers simply because they dressed in a well manner and were generally wealthy. The other distinguishing detail about the mods is that they tend to have large sideburns. The mods fancied everything modern, which at the time, funk was the most modern style of music. Next on 60 and a half minutes, we have an actual documentation of two who consider themselves mods, demonstrating why they favor funk over rock.
So why do you like funk more than you like rock?
Well, funk has a more upbeat kind of tempo. It's right. So,
mate.
funk, it makes you want to get up and dance more than, let's say,
dance,
rock.
mate.
Right.
Well, I say let's stop playing.
All right.
Time to go over.
The rockers, just like the name hints, were greatly influenced by rock at the time. Rockers looked very similar to American greasers and acted the same way, just with fancier accents and worse teeth. They liked to wear black leather and comb their hair back with grease. The rockers liked to consider themselves more free than the mods because they were rebellious, when the mods tended to be ass-kissers on the great white cheeks of Britain's parliament. We also have video footage of rockers showing why they favored rock over funk.
So why do you like rock more than funk?
Oh, you can't really get any more better than rock. I mean, it's sort of like it's
your
the
face.
classic. Yeah, in your face. Classic
Right.
rock. It's when you go back to the American Elvis Presley, it's like the new age kind of stuff, and you can't really just go against what was in the past.
Right. Right.
So let's hear some of that rock.
Right.
You idiots! This is not Rage Against the Machine!
You're not Rage Against the Machine. You suck.
Now, somewhere at the beginning of this interview, we told you that there was a genocide that happened between the mods and the rockers. Well, we lied. There was no genocide. But the prospect... Hey! We weren't really supposed to tell him that. Young man, I have been through the wormhole. What is that even supposed to mean? I have been through the wormhole. Fine, whatever, just continue. Yes, where was I? But the prospect of a genocide happening could have happened, so we set up an interview with a few totally random and independent guests. We asked these guests questions that made it seem that there was a genocide, and recorded their reactions. Let's roll the footage. I need to go roll something else.
Groups in Great Britain called the mods or the rockers.
No.
You ever heard of Great Britain?
Yes.
Alright, that eliminates that. So what the mods and rockers were, the mods, like their name says, they like everything modern. They dress nicely, they listen to funk, and they hated the rockers, who were sort of like the American greasers. They dressed in black leather, and they combed their hair back with grease, and they liked rock. Have you ever heard about the Tutsis and the Hutus?
No.
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 Okay, so what the Tutsis and the Hutus were two groups of people in Africa who fought against each other because they hated each other. This is sort of the same thing that happened with the mods and rockers, but the reason we've never heard about it is because Great Britain covered it up, like they did covering up the invasion of South Africa. Ever heard of South African invasion?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So, since this is England's a first world country, it would be kind of embarrassing to let the world know that there was a genocide that happened there. How does this make you feel that you've never heard about this genocide?
Makes me feel in the dark and shut out.
Sweet. Alright, if given the choice, which side would you be on?
Mods?
I like that. Okay. Just to clear things up, there was no genocide.
Okay.
Alright?
Okay.
Okay, we're done. Alright, first question. Have you ever heard of any groups in Great Britain called the mods or the rockers?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Great Britain?
Yes.
Big island north of France?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard about the Tutsis and the Hutus?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
Have you? Oh yeah.
Alright. So what the mods and the rockers were these two groups, sort of like American socias and greasers. They hated each other, and they were British. And have you ever heard about the genocide in Great Britain between those two?
No.
So it started on Easter weekend on Palace Pier in Brighton, England, and I don't know, somebody just probably fired a gun. The whole violence just went off.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. And from then on, it just erupted in this huge genocide where the mods were beating on the rockers and they killed them all. How does this make you feel?
What?
How does this make you feel?
How does what make you feel?
The genocide, not knowing about it.
I mean, dude.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know is not a good answer. I don't like that.
Like, how does the genocide makes you feel? Not knowing about it, kind of almost feel like we're not getting, like, our countries are being told about things.
Ow!
Ow!
All right. If given the choice, which side would you be on? Okay. All right. Last question. Just to clear things up, there was no genocide. This is just a test to see people's reactions.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're done.
Dude, you're really mean.
Told you I was fucking.
Welcome.
Hi.
First question. Have you ever heard of any groups in Great Britain called the Mods or the Rockers?
Nope.
Well,
the Rockers, maybe.
Maybe the Rockers.
I don't know. I
yes.
watched.
Yes or no question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. When I was
Okay.
younger.
Do you know anything about them?
No, the name sounds familiar.
Okay. Well, they like rock. That's
I
why.
gathered that.
Yeah, they're called the Rockers.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Great Britain?
Yes.
Okay. Just clearing things up. So what the Mods and Rockers were two opposing groups that lived in Great Britain. They hated each other. They were sort of like the American Greasers and the Socias. The Mods, they would comb back their hair with grease. Or no, not the Mods. The Rockers would comb back their hair with grease. The Mods, like their name says, wore modern clothes. They like funk. The Rockers like rock. Have you ever heard about the Tutsis and the Hootsies?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, there was a genocide in Great Britain. It started... Have you ever heard of a genocide in Great Britain?
I have not.
So, it started on Easter weekend near Palace Pier in Brighton, England. Somebody fired a shot. They were protesting against each other. It was almost like a twig was about to snap. And from then on, they just started killing each other. The Mods usually would hit on the Rockers. Not hit on, like, go on a date, but hit on, like...
Punch.
Punch. Yes. How does this make you feel, not knowing about this genocide?
Well, it's kind of surprising that something like that would have happened. That goes under the radar, even though we're allies with Great Britain.
Okay. Which do you like, rock or funk?
Rock?
Good. If given the choice, which side would you be on?
Rockers? I don't know. They
Me
don't have a
neither.
particular side.
Alright, and just to clear things up, there was no genocide. So,
Have you ever heard of any groups in Great Britain called the Mods or the Rockers?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Great Britain?
Yeah.
Alright, good. So you know about the Britain's invasion of South Africa, right? To put down the revolution. Do you know why? Or do you know the story behind this? Okay. So what happened is there's been a genocide in Great Britain, but obviously they didn't want to admit to something like this that usually happens in third world countries in Africa or whatever.
Right,
in
in
the
Africa.
Country. So they tried. So they tried to cover it up. How does this learning about a genocide in a country such as Great Britain, how them hiding, how does that make you feel?
I don't really
Most
care.
would say that they're shocked.
So you're shocked.
Super shocked. This isn't the first time though.
So do you like rock or funk?
Punk.
Oh no, Ben's angry. So these two groups in Great Britain that are committing genocides against each other are the Mods and the Rockers. The Mods, like their name says, they like modern clothing. They dress up. They're the rich kids. So
I
they're
don't like them anymore.
They're like Hanover,
I don't like them anymore.
and they drive Vespas.
Are they hipsters?
They want to be, yes.
Fuck them.
Oh my! This is a school video.
And, okay, so and then the rockers are kind of like the greasers. Of the
Yeah,
50s.
and I
You
want
got
to be
the
them. I wanna be
motorcycles.
greasers. The greasers are cool.
Awesome. That's great.
For my
I
dog.
like this guy. No.
Bumper cars.
Okay, now you're done.
Thank God.
Dude, that was terrible.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Becker. Perhaps you've heard of me. Perhaps you've heard of the British genocide. But then again, you probably haven't, because it doesn't exist. But the thing is, it could have existed. When you look at the Tutsis and the Hutus, they started their genocide because they hated each other. The Mods and the Rockers hated each other too. All it took was for the Rwandan genocide was one event, which was the plane being shot down for it to be starting a genocide. One moment. That's good milk. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes. An event could have started the British genocide too, between the Rockers and the Mods. Like said in the interviews earlier, a gunshot. And it just could have been erupted. Probably the Mods beating on the Rockers, because everybody knows the Mods would win anyway. But there's one message that I'd like to stick in your minds before we go. It's that no matter where on this earth, what time, what place, what technology, there is always the potential for genocide. Sure, it's easy to look on the Rwandan genocide and other genocides similar to that they happened in poor countries where education is minimal and it's very possible for two groups to be ignorant of each other and start a genocide, but that's not really the case, because when looking at human behavior, it really comes down to two people hating each other as much. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to end with one last message. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
The eyes of a child, so innocent and pure. A child's heart is full of song. Take their tiny hand and lead them to the light. As adults we see pain in the world, and it sometimes don't seem right. But through the eyes of a child, the world seems magical. There's a sparkle in their eyes, they've yet to realize the darkness in their soul. The beauty of their smile, adventurous and wild. Life is kind of gay, but it doesn't seem that way through the eyes of a child.
Wow.
Never again.